Call this meeting to order. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
roll call.
Here.
Mr. Brooks.
Here.
Mr. Brown.
Here.
Mrs. Davis. Here. Mr. DeFrancesco.
Here.
Mr. Giroux.
Here.
Mr. Gulick.
Here.
Mr. Johnston.
Here.
Mr. Lynch.
Here.
Mr. Valesky.
Here.
All present.
All present.
All right, can I get a motion for approval of the meeting minutes?
So moved. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes. You want to do this, Joe? Okay. All right, student delegate, Haiku Peters.
All right.
Welcome.
Good evening. My name is Heike Peters from the Panther Press, and I'm here to update you on what is happening at Sacretown High School. Next week is homecoming at Sacretown. Spirit Week themes are as follows. Tuesday is Rockstar Day, Wednesday is Superhero Day, Thursday is America Day, Friday is Spirit Splash Blue and Gold Day. An outdoor assembly will introduce the candidates, which will be live streamed, is scheduled for Thursday afternoon, and the King and Queen will be crowned in a ceremony starting at 6:30 p.m. on Friday. Then the Panthers will face Cockerton for the homecoming game. Although there will be no dance this year due to COVID-19, we look forward to celebrating this tradition. In sports, the girls' varsity cross-country team is off to a strong start with a 5-1 record, and sophomore Sam Hedrick is undefeated in boys' varsity races thus far. The Cambridge Springs girls' soccer team has won the past 5 games. Their current record is 6-2. And of course, the Panthers football team snapped a 38-game losing streak on September 11th against Cockerton with a final score of 13-6. National Honor Society has accepted 18 new members. They will be initiated in a live stream ceremony that will be scheduled next month during the school day. Student journalists are live streaming home events at Sacretown. Sophomores Sam Hedrick and Brady Greco have been commentating girls volleyball. You can hear them next week on Monday and Thursday night. Their live stream link is posted to all Panther Press media and the PENNCREST webpage. SHS has achieved Tier 1 initial fidelity within the Positive Behavior Interventions and Support Framework. This allows SHS to join SES, MES, and MHS as the schools of PENNCREST that have been recognized by the PA-PBS network. SHS has received this recognition for their work aligning their school's social environment to those practices that are found to promote student achievement. In the metal shop, the Tormac 1100M CNC that was purchased using the NTMA grant has been installed, and the students will be training on it next week. The machine was assembled by the Robotics 2 class. The Sacretown Marching Band participated in the Maplewood Band Showcase on October 2nd. They will also perform at the Meadville Exhibition on October 17th. Guidance update. Students in grades 10 and 11 who signed up will take the PSAT on Wednesday, October 14th. October 14th is also the date for the PENNCREST Virtual Financial Aid Night, available to all juniors and seniors and their families. Students and their families will have the opportunity to learn from a representative from the Pennsylvania Higher Education Assistance Agency, PHIA, about how to navigate the financial aid process. Thank you for your time, and don't forget to follow us at Panther Press SHS on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Good job.
I don't think we have a PAE. Is that it?
No.
All right, registered citizen comments. Matthew Vogt.
Hi, I want to first of all thank you guys for getting me on your agenda so quickly. For those of you who do not know me, my name is Matthew Vogt. I'm here on behalf of French Creek Valley Christian School. I have been the president of the board and head of the building committee there for the past 5 years. In the time that I've been associated with French Creek Valley Christian School, we've had a pretty ongoing problem with the PENNCREST soccer program, specifically with the parking situation over at our facility. In the past 3 years, that problem has gotten significantly worse, and I myself have personally tried to speak with the coaches during practice times. Our director, Tina Mattern, has made a couple attempts, as my understanding, to contact the athletic director for the district. And so far, it's really gotten us a whole lot of nowhere. In the past 3 years, the problem has gotten to the point where I now have parents that are considering pulling their children from our facility because they do not believe that they can safely pick their kids up after school during soccer games. Last week, we had a parent come in. Bear in mind that 3 years ago, we spent around $500. We purchased a number of signs, signposts, rope, and we cordoned off the west side of the driveway that runs off of the east end and heads north away from North Street. The street's not very wide, and we had parents parking on both sides. That street then goes down, makes a hard left into a small parking lot that we use for pickup. With cars down both sides, you could not safely make a left-hand turn and see where you were turning until you were completely in our parking lot. In 2018, I had a child and her mother almost get run over by a car. In 2019, I had a child and her father almost get run over by a car. And 2 weeks ago, I had a parent pull in there, and while they were pulling in, they ran over a 5-foot-tall road cone and a sign, tried to back up and leave. When my staff stopped the individual, his response was he could not see the sign or the road cone that he ran over. My speculation being that that could have very easily been a child that he also would not have seen. In recent years, we've done some research to see what we can do, and looking at the deeds for the 3 properties there, it's come to our attention that French Creek Valley Christian School owns about a 1.5-acre plot of property that is due east of that road, that runs 150 feet or so out from the road and runs the entire length of the road, 450 feet. That property was part of the purchase from 1992 or so, as far as I can tell. I am not a surveyor, but looking at the deeds for the properties, going out and finding the pins that were put there in the 50s, I can determine that it would appear that the Crawford County GIS tax maps are in fact accurate. Now, I would encourage you guys to get that plan surveyed as well. At this time, I'm coming to the board to let you know that essentially French Creek Valley Christian School has been providing 100% of the parking for the PENNCREST soccer program. On our numerous attempts to talk with the athletic director, we've offered to allow them to park the entire front of our building, which is also our property. It is evident when you pull down there that it is our property, as the borough paid to pave the road, but there is a distinct line where our property starts. It is our intentions at this point to close that road at the end of this soccer season, to put up a gate, to post it as private property, and to put up no trespassing signs. We will also be posting no parking down the front of the building. So effectively, for next year's soccer program, at this point, you guys will have no parking places. We've tried very hard for the past 5 years to be as amicable as possible. We've gone as far as to have our staff park elsewhere, to leave open as many parking spaces down there as possible. And after what happened last week and what has happened this week with the game on Monday, as well as the game today, where I had staff members that got yelled at and cussed at by spectators for asking them to move. This is the decision that we've made. So I'm here just to inform the board that at the end of this year, possibly sooner, you will have no parking at the soccer fields, as we own pretty much everything down to the credit union. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Mark, I'd like to make a recommendation. We got a planned transportation meeting coming up here in a week or so. And refer that to committee so we can work on it and bring back some suggestions to the board.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. All right.
Up next, we have Athletic Committee, Mr. Gould, Chairman. I'd like to recommend approval of the resignation of the following coaches and advisors as listed.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval to employ the following coaches as listed.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Finally, for athletic committee, we'd like to request approval of the winter 2020 coaches as listed by building.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion on that? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Next, education committee, Mr. Brooks, chairman. This time, we'd like to recommend approval to accept a donation of an interactive whiteboard and a Panther mascot costume to the PENNCREST School District for use at Sagertown Elementary School, valued at $5,000.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Facilities Transportation Committee, Mr. Johnson, chairman. First item up here is the standing item for discussion, if the board wishes, on our potential Guaranteed Energy Savings Act, the GISA project.
Anybody have any questions? Anything they want to bring up? Any updates? Okay. All right.
That'll continue to be on for each meeting for discussion. Next, we'd like to recommend approval of van driver for PM bus as listed.
On behalf of the committee, I make that recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Finally, I'd like to recommend approval of the parent-provided transportation agreement for student A as attached.
On behalf of the committee, I make that recommendation.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Finance Committee, Mr. Brown, chairman. Recommend approval of the treasurer's reports as attached.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval of the disbursements as attached.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Up next, the activity clubs. I'd like to recommend approval of the high school activity clubs for the 2020-2021 school year.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? I just have a question. Hey, Brian. When we close these accounts, obviously we're closing the class of 2020 for all the schools. What happens to the money in those accounts?
The students vote on where they want that money to go. If there's anything left over, most of it goes to, we'll just give it to the student senate to use. But it's up to the students to make that decision.
Okay. All right. Any other discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval to contract with Burke One to print and mail the 2020 Act 1 homestead farmstead applications as attached.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval of the engagement letter from Felix and Glucker to provide the audit service for the years ending June 30th, 2020, 2021, and 2022 as attached.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Personnel Committee, Mr. Brooks, chairman. I'd like to recommend approval to accept the resignations of the following employees as listed.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval of a leave of absence for the employee from her duties as a teacher aide assigned to Sagertown Elementary School effective October 5th and to continue until on or about January 5th, 2021.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval to employ Sierra Schick as a long-term substitute elementary teacher assigned PENNCREST Cyber Academy.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
To recommend approval to employ Ashley Newcomb as a district-wide health technician, special education transportation aide, initially assigned to Maplewood Elementary School effective October 13th, 2020, as listed.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
I'd like to recommend approval for support staff employee to access up to 25 days from the support staff sick leave bank in accordance with the recommendation of the support staff sick leave bank committee.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
To recommend approval for Ariana Phillips to volunteer to work with the girls soccer program at Maplewood Junior Senior High School effective the 2020-2021 school year.
On behalf of the committee, so moved.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion passes.
Policy Committee, Mr. DeFrancesco, Chairman. This evening, we have the second reading of the Title IX policies on item A, and item B is the second reading to repeal the prior policies that are out of date with Title IX. They'll be up at the next board meeting for a third and final reading to vote on.
That's the second. Okay, I move to accept the recommendation of the committee.
No action to take on this.
We don't vote on it until next meeting.
That's the second. Ready.
Because it's so extensive, he wanted to just have a second reading in addition to the first reading, but we're not acting on it until next month.
Okay. The Title IX policy has all these additional items on it, so we wanted to give you all a little bit of a longer time to review them before we had to vote on it, because it's extensively more detailed than it used to be.
Yes.
School Safety Committee, Mr. Brown, Chairman. Have anything for this evening?
No. Nothing we can discuss.
Yep. Crawford County Career and Technical Center report, Mr. Johnston. Anything?
Report this month.
Thank you. IU5 report, Mr. Brooks.
This is the last month for Dean Maynard as the head of the IU5, and Brad Whitman will be taking over. If anyone would like to, they're having a goodbye party for him tomorrow evening. Socially distanced. And that's pretty much everything else changes every day. So.
Thank you. PSBA legislative report, Mr. Gold. Do we have anything?
No report.
Thank you. Turn it back over to you, Mr.
All right, any new business anyone wants to bring up? All right, board member remarks. We'll start with Bob tonight.
So I'd like to congratulate our sports teams. Sounds like they're having a pretty good year. I'd like to thank the staff, teachers, everybody. Not getting any complaints. Everybody seems to be going through pretty smooth. Just kind of get everybody in mind for this flu season that's going to be coming up. Try and stay safe and clean. Get through this without any problems.
I think we've done an amazing job getting the school year started here, from where we were 2 months ago to where we are today. I think that we've put the plane together on the runway. I'm not sure we're all the way taken off, but we are definitely motoring down the runway. We're taxiing. Whatever, nimbly taxiing down the runway. Like I say, for our sports teams, we've got 2 girls teams ranked in the top 10 in the state. Great job to them. Cross country's doing fantastic. Our trap teams are out there shooting. Haiku mentioned the band competition. I think it's fantastic. I saw a lot of schools and a lot of people posting that this is their only competition that they had all year. So it's fantastic that Maplewood figured out a way to do that, and the district figured out a way to do that. It's great that we can accommodate people as much as we can and try to have something for our kids to look forward to. And that's pretty much it.
Well, like everybody else, I'll just wish good luck to the rest of the season for the fall sports teams. Keep up the good work and stay healthy. To the retiree and the others who are moving on from the district, I just want to wish them good luck. And like Jeff said, I want to thank the administration, faculty, support staff. Everybody's done a fantastic job in light of all the circumstances. And I see no reason why we can't keep it going. That's all I have.
Excuse me.
Get mask on.
Well, hopefully our children, our students will exceed it as well and they get everything, and hopefully they get all the education they can get. We all the problem we have with these recommendations that change all the time, and hopefully all the children, all the students in the classroom will be able to be safe in the sense that they won't have to sleep on the floor or be sitting on the floor, or all the other necessities are available for them to learn and grasp what's going on. Unfortunately, this fell on the whole nation, and looks like we're going to get out pretty quick. It appears that the virus now is to the point, just like the flu has been going on there for every year, and hopefully, although a lot of people will come out positive, there'll be no additional people that are going to lose their lives anymore because of it. But I do appreciate what the administration has done to protect our students. And, well, I guess that's it.
Well, I'm just glad to see everybody back in school. Reiterate from what I said last month, it's nice to see the buildings busy. It's nice to see the kids running around. It's nice to see school buses, even though it's still a pain in the mornings going to work, but it's well worth it to see them again. We're coming up on the flu season, so that's something more we're going to have to deal with on top of the COVID. So everybody wash your hands, be safe, social distance. And the sports teams are doing really well. It's awesome to see PENNCREST doing as well as they are doing. The kids have proven that under the circumstances they can come out and perform just as well as anybody. Kids are doing awesome. Our administration's doing really, really well. They're adapting to changes that happen more than we all realize. Teachers, bus drivers, everybody deserves a lot of credit for all this, so I want to thank everybody for that. And that's all I have.
I have pretty much nothing different from anybody else, except that can't give enough thanks to the administration and the teachers. It's a hard job and they're doing excellent, so that's it.
I'm glad to see that we're all holding together and keeping the virus at bay, not losing a bunch of students. Not sick, and we have a few, but nothing's verified as being COVID, so that's good. I wanted to thank Mr. Boyd for bringing that to our attention, and I'm sure we'll address it. Keep everything safe down there. I hate to see you guys lose any students over something like this when it can be solved, so that's all.
I think it's all been said. I just want to reiterate again, thanks to all of our teachers that are, I know, working double, triple, quadruple time under circumstances that are way beyond their anticipation. And the kids, I know they don't watch these meetings, but the kids.
What do you mean they don't?
I know, they're all sitting here riveted. But we need to give them credit because they're working, and I think most of them are being really good sports and working under crazy circumstances, whether they're in school or at home trying to navigate cyber, which is fun. But in the buildings too, I've heard a lot of feedback from teachers that the kids have been really rolling with the changes and being really good sports. So I'm proud of them and grateful for their guidance.
Last month, I asked for patience, understanding as we got things moving, and I think we've really got that. I mean, everybody's worked together and pulled together, and the beginning of the school year has gone, I think, honestly better than anybody expected it to. I just ask that we continue to be patient, top to bottom, from the superintendent down to the students. I mean, be patient, try understanding and everything like that. The only new thing I have to add, and this is another request, everybody probably saw that more people are allowed at sporting events now. Okay, there are certain rules, everything. Please just follow the guidelines. We can have more people at football games, at volleyball games, coming up on basketball season. We can have actual fans in the stands. Just do your part and do what you need to do so it doesn't get taken away. Okay, because honestly, it's up to the fans, the players, it's up to us if we can keep going to this stuff. As long as we do what we're supposed to be doing, we should be fine. I mean, so I just ask that people, when you go to the sporting event, just follow the guidelines, follow the rules. Regardless of what you think about them, just follow the rules so we can keep going to sporting events and doing, concerts or doing whatever we're doing. So that's all. That's all I have.
Just one more announcement. The board met for executive session on October 5th and 8th of 2020 for personnel, safety, and potential litigation.
Motion for adjournment?
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?